So, Zermi, hopefully, in a second, we shall have a lovely stream starting up.
Okay.
And all we will see is my screen, and it'll be wonderful and glorious, as everything always is. So, hopefully people can see me, everyone's happy. It's a good day.
Not seeing a stream yet.
Oh, there's always a delay. And we don't mind delays too much. Because I can see that I'm live. That's all that matters.
Okay, we're good. We're live.
So, for those just joining us, hello from me, Bane.
This is working, please respond.
What? Is this working? Please respond. I just got a whisper.
Yeah.
It is Bismarck, but I'm currently streaming, so you're just a beard. Don't worry, I'll see you in a minute. Ta-da! So, people just like heard some Bismarck's voice in the background going, what? Is Gold playing? Well, we're not actually playing a game, Xander. We're actually just doing some coding, actually, which is kind of what's going on at the moment. So I just thought, Gold should be here later, that we'd show off some development of STA3 Live, so here you can see my Armada 3 in the background. But what I'm actually doing is just kind of wanted to show off how we develop Armada 3. So maybe some people will want to watch. There might be some music in the background from me, because I do like to listen to a bit of music. Hopefully it won't be too annoying. I've removed my overlay so you guys can see a little bit more in the background as well, and at the moment I'm just having a look at some of the ships, and people have often asked me, so what do you and Zermi and Draconis do? And Zermi is here. Say hello, Zermi.
Hello.
Hello. So this is what we do basically. We mess around with code and abilities, because that's fun like that, isn't it? Right, Zermi?
Oh, it's a joy.
It's a joy, absolute joy. So what was I doing? I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was going to basically create a copy of this, because if you've already created something, why create it again? Isn't that right, Zermi?
But what you just said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Exactly. So this here ability that I'm looking at now is actually the deploy ability for the Norrin, and this is going to be changed in a minute to a new ability, which I'm going to do now. So I'm going to work and edit here. You guys can ask questions as we go along, yeah, you know, I'm going to try and do some cool work and get some things working. So without further ado, I'm going to do some work, Zermi. Is that amazing? You're like excited by this, aren't you? I know you are. So this is going to be the M ability, Venatic, because that's the ship it's going on, and it's going to be Venatic Hunter Spawn. That's a mouthful and a half, that is. So it's going to be an entity file. To make it an entity file, we need to make it a file of all types. Otherwise, it will just be a text file and it won't work. So we've changed it. So that's never written anything, but I'm using this as a base here. And at the moment, it's going to spawn these, but we don't want it to spawn these. What I need to do, if I can find it, is I need to find my Herosian ships. Here are my list of Herosian ships, and I'm particularly after the M_frigate_Herosian Hunter here. That's the one I will need to use in this particular file. So here we go. Let's see if I can remember how to spell it. So it was M_, and it was frigate_Herosian Hunter. So here we go. Herosian. And it's going to be a hunter that we need to spawn. Number of frigates, well, since I don't really be expecting to give this anything other than a level 0 here, I'm going to give it 2. Expiry time, we'll give it a long expiry time. Let's give it 360. Because we want these frigates to be around for a while. Have you worked on Stowe? I have not worked on Stowe. I'm sure it is as much fun as Sins to code. I don't believe it's as much fun as Sins to code. It's probably a lot more complicated than Sins to code. But I am not the ultimate coder, am I, Zermi? Don't
I
answer
get
that.
to say no.
Don't answer that. I am a reasonable coder, but this is Sins code. This is Iron Engine code. So obviously, Sins using an Iron Engine. Particularly, to answer you, Caleb, I'm not adding new races. I am actually adding new abilities to ships at the moment. So that's what I'm doing. The level source type's gonna have to change because we're not putting this on a Titan. So at the moment, this is on a Titan, and we don't want it on that. We want it to be fixed level 0. And the arrow use type will be only in combat. The arrow use type will be any. Autocast is on. Cast on by default is true. And it will use antimatter to call in stuff. And we will then need to give it a string in a minute. But for now, we'll just ignore the strings because that requires more effort. And who wants to do more effort? Lots of people still messaging me for beta access as well. But I'm streaming right now, so you're not going to get it yet.
Lots of beta access.
Absolutely. So Decut is not yet here fixed though. It's just poor Bane on his own and Zermi, but it's okay.
Oh, hey.
Well, I say poor Zermi for putting up with me. That's what I meant, you know. Poor Zermi.
I've led the hand you quite well, my friend.
Right, that is true. That's true. We spent many hours actually working on this. For those that do not know, Zermi has been a member. How long have you actually been in? I don't even know how long you've been in the team now. How long have you been in the team now?
It's got to be at least a year now.
It's been quite a while, hasn't it? Really?
Because I actually beta/dev the last CTA.
You did, and we appreciate it. So Zermi used to be a beta. So hey ho, if you're a beta tester watching tonight, just be aware that you never know, get promoted and become a full development team member. Exciting. So we're going to add it to the ship. This is the ship file here of all the cool weapons for the Herosian Fanatic. I know I'm speeding through this quite quickly, but essentially we need to add it to this ship. So we've got all our weapons, all our information on the ship itself. We've got our speeds, the roll rate, so how it turns. We've got our squads, if it had squads, attack orders, all these sound effects here. So these are all the sound effects. We're not going to worry about them because you're never going to capture the Herosian vessel, so I don't really need to change them. And then we have our abilities here. So these are all our abilities, and you can see it's got 2 abilities. And in particular, we've got an uncap ability which stops it, which is an ability we made to stop the people from capturing frigate or cruiser entities with their capture ships. And we have the latest ability that I've just created here. So we're going to save that file. However, the game will probably throw a hissy fit if I try to use it now, because I haven't actually added it to the entity manifest. And people often ask me, is it really complicated to code Sins? It's pretty complicated. We have an entity manifest, and in modern games like Stellaris, for example, there is no entity manifest. There's no need to worry about entities. But in Sins, because it is a 32-bit engine, every entity has to be listed. So anything that I create, I have to list out. And if I get any spelling incorrect, it becomes an absolute disaster. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adding in this lovingly created file that I just made. Here's one I made earlier, and we're going to increase the entity name count number as well, so that you can actually see how many entities we have created. There are 4,891 entities. Of course, Zermi has pushed some as well, so I'm just bearing that in mind, Zermi. I better pull, actually, rather than create entity manifest. I better pull because you've probably added to it, right?
Yeah, don't do a me.
Don't do a you. So this is the other thing. People ask me, what else do you have to remember? I have to remember that Zermi's working on files as well. So I'm going to now pull his version of the files. And then I'm going to update the entity manifest. Because if I try to update it and push it, it'll just give me an error. And I need to stash because some of the stuff has changed. And the entity manifest is already going to be overwritten. I'm very sad. I knew I should have pushed my changes earlier, Zermi. I blame you.
I warned you.
You did warn me, to be fair. So, I'm going to get a message in a second. Do I want to reload this? Yes, I do. All that hard work gone in an instant. I'm very sad. Right, so let's try that again. Let's add it back in. So, ability, Venatic, Hunter, Spawn. Nearly spelled it wrong. And now I'm going to save it. So, Venatic and Spawn added. There's my file. Is it going to work? Probably not, knowing my luck. Meaning we'll have to troubleshoot it. Let's get the entity manifest back up. Then do improved entity manifest. And we're going to add our entity to it. I'm probably going to get an error because I have also added another ability, which I'm going to have to add back in as well. Damn it, Zerby! Making me do work now. So it makes 4,892. Entity name, although I've got one that isn't working, I made another one earlier, which is called, I will tell you in a second, Frigate Erosion Hunter, which is called something that isn't actually listed in here, so it's okay. So in fact, scrap that. Let's just keep it like that. So let's load sins. See what happens. If we get an error message pop up now, then we have failed to code this ability in properly. That doesn't mean the ability is coded in right, but the first sign with sins, if something is working is not, is whether it actually loads. Do ignore the fact that it says not responding on my screen.
The Federation stands.
It's a good starting point. I can see that there is an intro video. I can see that I can get in to dev mode. The question is, Zermi, will it work?
It's you, so it should do.
Well, you say that now, but I'm not doing well tonight. I've had one that doesn't work already that I need to work on. So we're going to find out. I'll wait for the horrible map to load and tell me whether it's going to work tonight. And I'm hoping the lovely Draconis will be here. Again, good friend of ours, isn't he? But also lead balance developer, so he's a little bit special when it comes to coding abilities in. He's got the magic touch, shall we say.
He does indeed. I'm not gonna lie.
It's very annoying.
He does it. He always does it in his sleep.
So one day, the dev mode will actually load for me. There we go. We're going to skip. This is our hidden research, so this is what happens in dev mode. Because the reason it's giving me that message basically is you as a player can't touch that research. It's telling me this player can't touch that research because it's off the screen, and I know it's off the screen because that's our hidden AI research that we put in to improve the game's AI. So we're going to skip that. And hopefully it's going to load in. And I'm going to spawn some stuff in. Right. Here is my system. First of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the galaxy. I'm going to override. I'm going to give myself access to see everything. There's the enemy over there. Look, there he is. But what I'm really interested in is basically spawning in. So I'm going to change the galaxy again. I'm going to spawn a random event. And you can tell I've done this before. I'm going to spawn a Herogen hunting party in. And off comes the Herogen hunting party. It's coming down here to the trade station. And I might just spawn myself some ships. I for some reason pressed the wrong buttons though. You know when you have one of those accidental slips and you give yourself quick play? I didn't want to do that. That would be absolutely terrible. So ability cooldowns off, infinite animati off, because that would be bad. And I'm going to give myself some ships. I feel like giving myself a Federation tie. Let's give myself the Excalibur.
Sword Excalibur.
It's the Excalibur, looking lovely. We've got some hunters in there. Have I got any Venatics? I've got 2 Venatics over here. So Here's the Excalibur doing what the
Space
Excalibur
control
does.
ship standing by.
For the Federation!
Ready to lead. All squadrons, converge on this target.
Give yourself some Danubes just to bomb the crap out of things. I'm just going to play with the Hunters. Where's the Fanatics? They are there. They're hidden in the background. There's the Fanatics. They're coming.
Just a little tidbit, just to prove a point. Most of the time, when I'm doing this, and everyone knows this, you are wrong when the error comes up. I was
Yes.
wrong because I made a spelling mistake. The game is almost
That
never
is true.
wrong.
Do you know what? We have an ability. The Fanatic has spawned 2 Hunters. Look at that. It works. The ability works. It spawned 2 Hunter frigates. I am happy. I am excited. I have made an ability. So, test 1. Did the ability work? It did. So that's good news for me, because now it means I can now go to the string file. I can also make some pushes. So without further ado, I'm actually going to push some files as well. So let's commit these files to the game to say, hey Zermi, I did it. I made some cool abilities. So added the Herogen Venatic ability called Worthy Prey. Because you are worthy, Excalibur. You are so worthy. And we're going to push that through. And this is how we make changes. This is why the open beta is so complicated. Because we need to continuously push files. So these files actually go straight into the commit. So if you were a beta tester right now, you could actually pull these files right now. These very files I've just pushed, you can actually get these right now. And that is the glorious way that we update things. So every time we do an update, if someone is on the open beta, they can actually get the file straight away that we've just made. And that's what's really good about this system that we've done. But that's not all I need to do, because it's not just about making an ability. I need to actually then do things like sound effects. So we've not done any sound effects at the moment. We've not given it any name, because the truth is there's no point. Because you as a player can never capture this particular ship, because it's quite a powerful ship. If we allowed you to capture it, it'd be a bit OP. So we don't actually need to change all the strings and stuff for it, because you'll never see it. It'll never be seen in game. So we can just leave it kind of stock. But what I will do is just show you guys a kind of sneak preview of some of the abilities here, which you're going to see on my screen. And hopefully you guys will appreciate what's happening. Matt Campbell says, I can confirm, Zermi, the files are there. They are there. That's right, the Venatic just got upgraded. So these are a list of some of our neutrals here, and we've got some really exciting stuff that you're going to see coming up with this game. We said we wanted to make the game feel a lot more involved when you're dealing with certain things, and I'm going to go over everything tonight, but you can see that we actually name out who's doing what abilities, kind of what we've done to them. So you can see the Bajorans have had a bit of a boost, and Zermi is currently working on those. So let me find the Herogen. There's Herogen. Prey. I need to do Prey, but Worthy Prey is done, so I can click Bane has done. Worthy Prey done. Ooh, can't spell tonight, Zermi. Can't spell. Not good. Not good
You're
at
better
all.
than me. That's not good.
So Worthy Prey is done for the Venatic. So it's getting there. We're getting there. I might need to look at the Herogen Venatic's strength overall, and that's what we use beta testers to test and tell us. So, do we have any plans for some Armada-free gaming fun? We do, Zach, because I think I mentioned this before. We're actually going to be doing a Armada-free community match. Not this week, sometime next week. It will be announced towards this weekend, and it's going to be because Chris, is coming down to stay at mine, so he's actually going to be sitting behind me over there, and we're going to have this community match. I'm hoping our friends such as Exodus and Zermi, I did see you, Exodus, sorry I haven't said hello yet, and Matt Campbell, Bismarck, the usual guys that are here, as well as our Patreon guests who have obviously got priority spaces. We're hoping to get them all in. Obviously, we can only fit 10 players in an STA3 community match, and we want everybody to obviously be able to play with us, but it's not always possible. We will keep doing community matches though for you guys in the community, because we know that you appreciate those kind of matches. You're going to see one of those every quarter. So every 4 times a year we'll have a big community match of something. It might not necessarily be Armada 3. It might be even something like Battlefield if we want to, where we can just say, hey, let's raid this server. Maybe it'll be Rust, who knows? But we'll do some community stuff and get you guys involved, because we really care about getting you guys involved with GB Gaming. But this is all about Armada 3 tonight, which I am also a developer, which, as you know, is why we're doing this. So here's some of the abilities that we talked about. So I'm working on the Herogen here, but I wanted to show you guys really some of the really cool stuff. So Zermi's currently working on some abilities called the Miradorn, weren't you? Which
I just finished the Miradorn, yeah.
Or as we know, nicknamed the Krabby. So he's actually added an ability that gives micro warp jump, which is very similar to the Borg Probes ability. And I want to show you some of the other cool stuff that we're going to put in. So, for example, let me scroll down. The sonar, not the player sonar, but the sonar as an example, they're neutral ships are going to have the isolytic detonation. So if you've ever watched, some people say it's a terrible movie, I don't mind it too much, but if you ever watched the actual movie, you remember they launched an isolytic charge which detonated, and the Enterprise was forced to eject its warp core. Now, we can't really stimulate you guys ejecting warp cores left, right and centre, so this ability unfortunately will be unstoppable and will cause extreme damage to ships that are caught in it. As you see, I've even written some notes here just to remind me what it's going to do. It's going to launch an isolytic charge, it causes a subspace rift, and it does like an area of effect explosive wave in front of the ship. So that's going to be pretty nasty. And we've also got something for the Ruffalo, which is the smaller sonar ship, which was the command ship, which is going to deploy an isolytic minefield. And they're AoE mines, very similar to the Defiant ability, but a little bit more powerful. And these will be spreading out and launching mines everywhere. What's going to be really unique about some of the encounters that we're trying to do at the moment, and I just want to jump all the way down to the encounters themselves, is some of the stuff that we've added in. Now, I'm going to do some confirmation of some of the stuff that we're going to do. We're going to have Mirror Universe ships. In fact, we've already put some Mirror Universe ships in. And one of the ones I'm currently working on, which is quite complicated, is this mini boss fight with the Deredex. Now, I'm not going to go over the others, but the Deredex itself will launch decoy probes, it will go invisible, it does this really cool ability called Mindstorm, because this is based on the Shattered Universe Romulans. So there's an old game, Star Trek game, just to prove another point that we still play old Shattered Universe games, old Star Trek games like Shattered Universe. Shattered Universe, in the storyline, Sulu, who has the ISS version of the Excelsior, if you like, because his crew gets swapped because of this kind of displacement, and he's being chased by Chekhov in the Enterprise. Sulu does run into the Romulans in the Mirror Universe, and the Romulans have been devastated, as far as we know, by the amoebic entity, which was seen in TOS. So, what's happened, this is in the future, obviously, so the Romulans have managed to kill the amoebic entity. They've harvested its protoplasmic energy and its psionic brain matter, if you like, and so they're able to use that now as a ship weapon. So these Romulans have access to an ability called Mindstorm, and what they're going to be able to do is they're about to do this powerful psionic scream. That psionic scream is going to disable all ships in that area for 30 seconds. So that's going to be pretty powerful. So these are kind of like mini boss encounters. And again, I think this is our first for Sins mod where we're actually going into that much detail that you're going to have mini boss encounters that spawn in as events. And again, I'm not going to go to the others, but if you don't deal with these in the right way, then you're going to be in trouble. And I will add, I'm just going to highlight it here. Right here, we do have the Cardassian Dreadnought missile. That's the Dreadnought missile from Voyager. That is going to be a thing. I coded that in the other day. I've not coded the abilities yet, but I coded it in the other day. So it's some really good, exciting abilities. But, you know, I'm hoping you guys appreciate the amount of work that we're going to put into this. But I think I've talked enough about the sheet, and again, you can see loads of bright colours on the screen. What we need to do is we need to get back and do some more coding, because if I don't code things, you know, it's going to be good. What's happening over here in space? So that was it. We tested its ability. The Excalibur was fighting. Let's close down the game. Let's get on. So our next ability that I needed to create was something called Prey. So the Venetic fires a particle pulse disrupting both shields and engines, allowing it to close. So we're going to go back. We get Alpha Armor. So here's our that's our ability. We know that works. That worked really well. And now we're back on the Venetic itself. So here's the Venetic, and I need to add another ability. So is there anything I can find in my library that is going to disable shields? I don't know. Let's do so many abilities to go through. Can you think, Zermi, off the top of your head, any faction ability that disables shield? Obviously, we have target weapons array, which does weapons, so I could just use that.
Yeah, I was gonna say use that one.
Yeah, we'll just use the F target weapons array. So F target. Was it F target? Is it called target weapons array?
Hold on.
I can't spell. F ability underscore target weapons array. Target weapons
underscore, yeah.
There's two. There's target weapons and target weapons array. So I think it's underscore target weapons array. Let's have a look at this one. So does this do what I want it to do? Because if it does, I don't have to recreate it from scratch. I do create a lot of stuff from scratch, guys. But sometimes I just like to kind of, you know, not that. So it has a buff as well. So let's find the corresponding buff. So let's do F underscore buff. Let's do underscore target. Here's target weapons array. So what does this do? This does an entity modifier. So it's good. So we can use this. So what we're going to do straight away is we're going to save it. So we're going to save this as M, because that's our kind of generic ability. And we're going to call this, what should we call this? Venetic again, I think. And we'll give it a capitalize there. F ability underscore Venetic. And the ability, just to remind myself, is called Prey. So we'll call this Prey as well, just to Venetic Prey. And we're obviously going to make a .entity file again. And we're going to save it. We're also going to save the buff itself. Did it have any other sub buffs? I don't think it does. That's fine. So we're going to save this one as well. So here we go. Now, obviously this is cheating a bit because normally I'd have to code this from scratch, but that's the lovely thing about having already created buffs in the past. So I can just reuse all their code and just change the bits of code that I want. So this is going to be Venetic Prey .entity. And again, we're going to save this as all types. If I'm going too fast, guys, with this, because I realise I do have a tendency to go really fast when coding abilities, do let me know, because I can't help it. You know, it's just the way I am. So let's have a look at this. So we need to first of all point it at the correct buff file. So this ability, all abilities have to point at a buff file in Sins of the Solar Empire. So very important that we get the name right. So it's going to point at mbuff underscore Venetic. Venetic Prey. All right, we don't add the .entity part because that's just a file descriptor. And it's going to apply buff to target. So that's the instant action type. So that determines what the buff will do. So it's going to apply this buff to target. So when this activates, it's going to see a target and it's going to randomly pick one that it's engaged with at the moment, and it's going to go, I'm going to target, but what am I targeting? Okay, what am I targeting? Well, I'll tell you what it's going to target. It's going to target an enemy ship. One enemy ship. What kind of ship? Well, in Sins, there's frigates, there's capitals, there's corvettes, and there's planet modules. Okay, planet modules being, of course, turrets. Okay, so this is what it's going to target. Now, I don't actually need planet module for this particular ability. That's no use to me. So I'm going to remove that and set the number of objects back down to 3. Where's he going to target? Well, in Sins, again, if you remember the stock game, we had phase space and normal space. This is targeting in normal space. Okay. Do I need a constraint? I don't need a constraint. Maybe I could give it a constraint. Actually, let's leave the constraint in, because that just defines that it'll only target something that actually has weapons. Okay. And what kind of range do we want to give it? So if you've ever seen an ability, when you've hovered over an ability, you'll get this purple circle that appears in the game. And this is the kind of thing that determines that purple circle, is the range to target. Now 2000's pretty good, it doesn't really need to be much more than that. That's kind of like close engagement range. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want it to kind of overwhelm things. In fact, I'm going to make it a little bit longer, because I've just remembered this ability is going to be engaging at range. So in fact, let's actually give it a very long ability range, because the weapons range, and I'll show you this in a minute, is actually longer. And this ability is designed or to allow the Venatic battleship, which is quite slow, to actually close on its target. So if we look at the weapon ranges of the Venatic, so I'm going to take you back to the Venatic. And I want to have a look at the weapon ranges. So we know it's got a missile, and the missile itself has a range of 4,500. We also has a projectile here, which is, I think, like a pulse. It looks like a pulse to me. It's 3,500, and it has a beam, which has a range of, let's have a look back up, 4,500. So by having it at quite a long range, it's going to fire a very concentrated beam. Now I think based on that's 4,500, let's make it a little bit fairer. Let's make the ability actually only 6,000. So it's not too OP. 8,000 maybe was a bit OP. Bane, you have this habit of recorrecting yourself, but that's good. Self-testing is good. We don't mind self-testing. So we've got our effects. These are going to need to change, because I don't really want to be using the target weapons effect. I'm going to have to create a new particle effect. Unfortunately, I haven't got time to do that today in this stream, because I just need to get the abilities done. But what we will do is we will create some custom particle effects. And the particle effects are the nice flashy icons you see when you use ability, or the nice beams or waves that you might see when we do an ability. Obviously, target weapons here is really not going to work for us. We need something like a nice particle pulse beam. That's what I'm imagining in my head, that hits the ship and disables stuff. Okay, and we need to change the sound IDs as well. So does it need to face the target? Well, yes it does, because that doesn't make sense that it disables things when it doesn't face the target. Can it collide the target? Yes, because it's going to be a beam. It can't move through the target because it's only targeting one thing. It is just a fixed level. It's not going to uprate itself, get better, and it is only going to be used by the AI in combat at any point in time. So I'm quite happy with most of this. And again, at some point we could change the names and descriptions. That's what determines, when you see the ability on your HUD, what determines the name and description you get. Okay, but I don't need to change that, because again, no one can control the ship. You'll never see the icon on the ship, so it doesn't really matter at this point. What does matter is the next part, which is we need to actually give the buffs some thought. So here's my buff. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to prioritize new buffs. It will always prioritize new buffs. Buff stacking limit is for all players. The stacking limit is 1. So this basically means that if I have 2 Venatics firing it, it can't cast a buff twice on it. And that would be silly anyway, because this buff in particular is going to disable shields and engines. So it's quite a strong buff. Okay, and we don't really want it to stack more than once, because, as I said, it'll be completely pointless. So what have we got in here? We've got an instant action. It's going to play an effect, which again, this is the target weapon target effect. So you can see just from 2 files, we've already got 2 particle effects. That's how involved this is. Okay, and then we can choose to do a periodic action. Well, I don't really want a periodic action for this, because it's about disabling something. Do I want an overtime action? Not really. An overtime is more for like a damage overtime or a heal overtime. This is about disabling something. Is it going to be an entity modifier? It could be. Is it going to be a bull modifier? It could be. So let's think about this a little bit. And there is a really good guide that was made by, if I can find it, by the lovely Zombie Russ. And I just want to show this really, because I know most of these, but it's good to show you the wiki that Zombie Russ put together, because this is how I learned actually when I started out. I had this really handy reference guide to learn. So in this case, just to show you how easy it is, I'm going to go, and Zombie's actually listed all these out, and I can see that on a buff I have these options, and here's all the options I have. Now in this case, what I want to do is I want to disable the engines, okay? And I want to disable the shields, okay? Or I want to get rid of the shields, if you like, for temporarily. So, so really, what we can use is we can use this one here. So we've got some ball modifiers here. Here's a list of them, okay? And the one I really want, okay, is linear engines, okay? And angular engines. I need to disable both the linear engines and the angular engines. Linear engines, angular engines being two types of engines that ships use to either move in a straight line in the linear path, or angle themselves on the spot to basically turn and face the target in scenes. So if I just disabled one or the other, this wouldn't quite work. So what we're going to do is we're going to disable both of them instead. Okay, so let's take this back. Okay, so we don't need disable linear engines here, so let's just copy that in, for example. And we know that in this case, if we go back to it, just show you one more time, this is a ball modifier. Okay, so there's the ball modifier. Okay, so we need to actually add in a ball modifier. Okay, so our ball modifier is then going to need an enumeration. Again, going back to this, you can see it says entity ball modifier. This is where Sins gets very, very picky. If I were to make any kind of spelling mistake with how this is spelled right now, this would not work. Okay, so we need entity ball modifier, and the ball modifier will be disable linear engines there. Okay, so, and again, we've got the enumeration. So if we click this is what is, oh, not that one. If we click enable ball modifier, he has actually put the text to describe it. On the old one, he did put text to describe it. But basically, we need to say what this does. Okay. If I can find, let me see if I can find another ability quickly that has a similar effect. So, I think adapt armor. So let's have a look at some of the Borg abilities. See if I can give you another example of one. I think it's adapt armor. That's got no ball modifiers. This is where Bane fails to find one that actually has ball modifiers to show you guys. Yeah, ball modifiers. No ball modifiers in that one. Zermi, help me find an ability that's got ball modifiers.
Hold on.
I will find. I'm determined to find one for you guys to
What
show
were you
you.
for?
A ball modifier. So disable engines or something like that.
Oh,
Let's see. Target shields, maybe. Entity modifiers. Nope. I'm going to find one in a minute. Let's see. You can tell we don't actually use this as much as we probably should. I think Viral Matrix might have one. Let's see. Does Viral Matrix one? No. Viral Matrix 1.
oh, will the Nebula one work?
Possibly. Does it use a ball modifier? It does.
I
Look.
think it does.
There's one. I found one anyway in Viral Matrix. So we've got one here. So we can just copy that as well, because my one's badly written at the moment. So let's go back to our Venetic Prey. I should have put this all in one line. That's my fault. So I'm going to leave a tab there. And again, you can see we can just copy this. We're going to copy this in anywhere else. So we want to disable angular engines as well. Okay, but as you can see, if I go back to Viral Matrix, this one actually disables quite a lot of things, and that represents 7 and 9's ability. So if you remember, if you've ever played against the Borg or used the Borg, she has that ability, Viral Matrix. I think it's 7 and 9 has Viral Matrix, and what it does, it shoots a beam out and bounces between ships, and basically this is what it does. It hits each ship and it goes, I'm going to disable your phase jump, I'm going to disable your linear engines, I'm going to disable your weapons and abilities. And it hasn't disabled angular engines because we actually want it to cause the ship to spin as well. And that's what it does. It actually causes the ships to initialize this random motion. and as you can see, it uses angular speed. So if we disable the angular engines, then the ships wouldn't look like they're just floating there in space going, "Oh, I've been disabled by the Borg." So you can see why it's very important that we choose. But in this case, we want the ship to just stop dead. Now, I could add linear motion. Maybe I will add linear motion just for fun. Maybe, possibly, to this ability as well. But let's just get it working first of all. So for the moment, we've got 2 ball modifiers here, disabling linear angular engines. I don't really want any of these other things here that are added in this old file. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to set them to 0. Okay. And I'm pretty happy with where this buff's got to. So this buff will disable engines, linear and angular, and it's going to do this for 20 seconds. Okay, so 20 seconds of disabling both types of engines in Sins. Okay, so I do see that I can see Corey has joined us, putting me on under pressure now. Corey, you know, when you get a fellow Sins modder in the house as well, I'm gonna have to like get a little bit of sweat running down my brow. There's palpitations in my heart. You know what I mean? I've got to not show myself up now.
Let's have a joke, shall we? Shall we explain to everyone? This ability was what I used for the Nebula, which used to great effect in our last beta game, and you hated me for it.
I did. I hated when you use the Nebula because not many people know that is it the Nebula or is it the Phoenix? No, I think it's the Nebula, isn't it? The Nebula.
The Nebula has the disable ability.
Where you basically made, because it's the only ship in the game that can actually target a Titan effectively, the Nebula. That's how powerful the Nebula is, because Nebulas are superior to Galaxy classes. Everybody remember that forever. Okay, the Nebula made my progenitor spin around for 20 seconds.
Quite funny.
I was most annoyed. Most annoyed. I was like, oh, I've been done by the Nebula. My progenitor is just a spinning turd in space.
And then I decided to have my Polaris, and I kept using time stop.
You did.
And then come back and do it again. You weren't happy with me.
I was not happy. So I think we're pretty happy. Now, this ability is going to go off every 70 seconds. Let's put that down to every minute, because this is a neutral after all. Okay. So we're happy. We've got the buff. We now need to just check that we've added these, which we haven't yet, to our entity manifest. So here's our entity manifest, remembering that everything it seems requires this entity to be added. So we're gonna add this in. This is M ability underscore Venatic. I don't know why I didn't do an underscore on my earlier one. I'm gonna get told off by everybody for that, but never mind. Okay.
Since you tell us off for it.
Since I tell you guys off for it, because I'm so mean. And then we're gonna add the buff as well. So M underscore buff underscore Venatic Prey dot entity. We need to put this number up to 4,894 entity counts. It just gets bigger all the time, doesn't it, Zermi? It gets bigger all the time.
Just don't look at it.
Just don't look at it, cry. But we also need to actually give it to our lovely ship here. So let's add this ability to the ship. So this is M ability, and hopefully I haven't forgotten anything. And again, once again, I'll be able to show you that I have actually added another ability to the Venatic Herosian battleship. Okay, so there we go. M ability Venatic Hunter Sword, M ability Venatic Prey. Time to get back into the game. So let's load up the game. Here we go. Game's loading up again. Oxbullseye said, well, this is certainly the strangest stream topic I have seen on all of my subscriptions, because that's what we do at GB Gaming. We like to bring you strange random shit on the screen. But no, because we did obviously start, which is life, yes, but we did actually start as mod developers, and then we made a YouTube channel. And then we just started playing games, and people seem to like those games, and that's how we started Oxbullseye. That is why we are showing this now, because this was where we came from, myself and the goal. So we're going to start a random map. I'm going to be the Federation again. You've sent messages, Ox, to get into the beta. Did you send them on the on the Skype to me. If so, I apologise. I might have had them and just not replied yet. If you sent them, guys, by the way, by ModDB, I was going to tell Mr. Go off for this, because he made this lovely beta video that he didn't tell me about, that he released on GB Gaming, and then failed to point out that in the instructions it clearly says, add Bane on Skype to get your access. So, the Federation does indeed stand at a turning point. Oxeye. If you only knew how many times I have listened to that intro video. So, okay, Ox. What I'm going to ask you to do is, if you want beta access, I'm going to actually ask you to. Yeah, I know he did. He's naughty, Ox. I know he did. I'm going to actually ask you to add me on Skype. It's all in the script instructions on how to add me on Skype. And I promise you this: once this stream is ended, I will get your access set up for you. We don't talk about the characters, Simmons, alright? Okay, we know we don't talk about the characters, alright? Nikki's balls. Excellent. Thank you, Oxiteni. So I'm in the game. Let's get into the mode. Let's get all entities detected. Okay, here we go. Here is our map. I need to get in some of these fanatics. So, excuse me. Let's get Hirogen into the game. Where are they going to come into? They're coming into the star. What can I do? Let me see. I want to... What are they going to do? That's the question. What are they going to do? Oh, they're going this way. We've got some... Where's a Fanatic? Are they all going this way? These are all hunters, I think. Oh no, there's a Fanatic. Oh, the poor Marquis. They're going to get absolutely wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. And the Hirogen going here and get wrecked by the pirates. And these guys up here. Let's thin the herd a little bit. I don't want to focus on too much at once.
Ship insurance must be absolutely mental in this game.
So, let's get rid of these ones. And this one. Is it going to let me collect it? It's not going to let me select it. Why won't you let me select you? There's the spawnable ones that we just made a minute ago. And here comes a Fanatic. The Jaeger itself has targeted my hunter. And I want to see if it's actually going to cast it. It doesn't look like it's cast it yet, which is a bit worrying me, because I might have not set the AI use time right. Which is fine. If I haven't, it's okay. Come on, Fanatic. He's not going to do it now. Right, I think we can safely say Bane has failed to make this ability work. I'm very sad, Sammy. It's just not happened. Even the Condor has not been disabled. The Jaeger has not been disabled. So, let's see if we can work out why. So, we had Fanatic Prey. Let's have a look. It is applying a buff to target. That's correct. It is supposed to be doing an always perform. It should be targeting frigates, capital ships, and corvettes. So it should be targeting the enemy. It's got a range of 6,000. Hey, you told me it's set to only combat. It is set to any. Interesting. Because I can tell you why it's failed straight away. Because Bane did not look. Zermi, he made the super mistake that he always makes. Which is, when he copied an ability from another ability, he didn't look to see if there was a research prerequisite on it already, which there was, and of course, the Hirogen have no research. So, of course, this ability, as it stands at the moment, won't actually work, because obviously they don't get any research. So what we should have, and I'm just going to try and find another one here to show you an example. That is probably a bad one to show you. Let's find another ability. Silly Bane. Reaper. Let's not do Reaper. That could be a bad one to give an example of. So here, what we actually needed was to have the research prerequisites here set to 0, and of course, if we look at this one, which is the Venetic Prey, it's got research prerequisite. That's not going to work for us. That's just not going to work for us.
Nope.
Because it can't do any research, which is why it wasn't working in the game. Now the problem we're going to have now is the game will crash out if I change it when I'm running, so I'm going to have to force it to quit. This is live, guys. This has been about live streaming, so you're seeing me mess up in real time. So I'm going to have to load up the game all again. And off we go.
Your slight input quickly, Bane. With the flak ability, would
Yes.
you like it just to have a standard input of 1%, or would you like it to be an actual ad hoc ability? Because I'm just following what is already in the game.
The Federation
What do you
stands
mean
at
by?
Currently, the flak abilities that we have in game is a weapons cooldown. Oh, hold on. Stop dying on me.
You're killing your ships in dev mode again, aren't you? I can just see it happening. There's a pause button for that.
Yeah, I'm aware of this, but I forgot. Again, live, guys. All live.
All live, all brilliant. Oh,
So yeah, at the moment we have NG weapons cooldown at 1%, damage output 1%, and chance to hit at 1%. But it's a
Okay.
continuous ability.
I think we leave it continuous. I think we leave it the same, because I think if you don't leave it the same, it's going to cause issues. So
Yes, that's I thought I'd just ask the question.
Matthew, you're more than welcome to having the beta. All you need to do is add me on Skype and send me your information. So I need your Bitbucket, I need your GitLab username, and I need an email address. So I will actually type, for those that have not managed to get hold of us through ModDB, my Skype address there. You can send me your contact details on that. Obviously, I'm not going to do it while I'm streaming, but I will get you guys added. So, obviously, I want to see if we can get the Venetic Prey ability working. Because that would excite
just
me.
to show you how, just for a bit of funness, I'm just doing some testing and I didn't disable events. So my homeworld, I got 2 damaged bioships destroying my stuff as I'm trying to test.
Excellent. It's always good when bioships like to say hello. So let's go for our mobiles again. Let's detect. And also need to spawn in a random event. I need to find my Herosian. There is my Herosian.
Yellow alert. Activated.
Yellow alert. Herosian are on their way to a planet pretty much next door to my home planet. Happy days. Wait a second. What have we got here? More hunters. That's a lot of Herosian. Hang on, is this Herosian fighting Herosian? No, it's not. Yes! You saw it there! It's Herosian fighting the Inclusive Frigate. You saw it there. The ability is working. That was definitely disabled. Bane is very happy. The Herosian is getting snared. And I think he's about to be crushed to oblivion. Goodbye, Venetic. This is what happened when Folians and Herosian fight. It ends up into an absolute crazy mess. Oh dear gods. What a battle. Folians versus Herosian. The humanity. They're slaughtering each other. It's dreadful. I'm not actually sure. I can't actually rate who's going to win this. I think. Oh, it's too. I think I want to watch it out. Just this is going to be amazing now. The battles that are happening between. Let's see if I can maximise this a bit for you guys, so you can get a better view. But definitely, this is quite a battle at the moment. Herosian versus. Have you put the flak ability in already?
I've done some of them, yeah.
Because I've just seen. I'm pretty sure a failure ship's just tried to cast a flak ability on a Venatic there. Maybe I could be wrong.
It's a passive, so I don't know what that is.
But this is definitely working. I can see ships are being disabled. I think the Tholians may actually lose this fight. I think have they lost all their cruisers? No, they've still got cruisers. Uh-oh. Bye-bye, Hunter. Alas, I knew you well. The other Venatic's just been webbed. Oh, dear. Okay, that evened the sides up a bit here. What a battle. I don't know, guys. We should do like take bets on this. No, I think the Herosian have got this. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure the Herosian have got this. But it's a bit unfair at the moment because the Tholians have not yet had their second ability added to the frigates, which will, I think, make things a little bit different. So, Zermi, chalk another one up for me. That is another ability working. Look, I'm on a roll. That's 2 in an hour. Not too bad. And usually I'd be quicker than that, but obviously I'm talking. I do have some messages. Someone has sent me a recent... Oh, Matthew's already sent me a message on Skype saying he wants to be part of the beta. See, just to prove I do read things. So I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do now, obviously, because I want to commit things, because I know Zerby's working on stuff as well.
Don't commit yet. I'm just about to push.
No, but that means I've got to change my entity manifest.
Oh, here we go. This is the fight we have sometimes.
Who can push first? Who can push first? Get. I'm committing. Have you committed? You've committed, haven't you?
Committing as we speaking.
Oh, you cheat. You. All this hard work gone in. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to copy my abilities off. Because I already had copy 2 in. This is only the prey one. So, let me know when you've pushed there, Mr. Zermi. So I may pull the glorious bounty that you have offered into the neutrals. Anytime today.
Committed.
Have you pushed it?
Pushing now.
I just want to pull. I just want to pull the ability. There we go. I need to stash save. And I need to pull. Okay, I have pulled.
Good modding discipline is always useful for this.
Absolutely. I have
like
to go
putting your
all the
files
way
into a separate
back.
folder.
And now I've got the Venatic back to where it was before, and then I've got to add the ability back to it. It's just all this hard work. This is what happens. Let's get rid of that ability. So back to the entity manifest, which has changed. As you can see, Zermi has added some files to it. I'm going to add some mine. I'm going to make it 9.8. Zermi, you may want to pull mine before you push anything else in a second, because I'm obviously going to add mine back in. And we will add back in, sadly for me, the ability. It doesn't take long though. Ability underscore Venatic Prey, which we know works, ladies and gentlemen. We know it works. So there we go. I'm happy with that. Everything's in the manifest. We're going to close that down the game, and we're going to git sync. We're going to commit our changes. We're going to add our new files in. So I'm gonna be funny because I can. The glorious Bane has added the Venatic Prey ability to the game. We're going to commit this. There goes our commit. We're going to push it. Ignore my spinning tortoises. And we have pushed, ladies and gentlemen. So there we are. One more ability added. And I think that at an hour is pretty much what I wanted to show you guys for tonight. I'm going to call it there. And I appreciate you guys watching just for this short video and short stream. We might be back a bit later because Gold will be turning up here. I think in about half an hour's time. We might do some more streaming of some more development a little bit later, possibly. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I hope you've enjoyed watching the stream as always. And thank you for your support of the mod. Any questions, of course, do leave them in the comments section because this video will go up on YouTube, obviously. And if you do want to be in the beta, remember to add me to Skype on my details. And I want to thank Zermi for being here with me. Thank you, Zermi.
Hello, thank you.
And thank you guys for watching. As always, I look forward to seeing you again in a stream real soon. This is Bane, as always, signing out.